Today marks the start of the early voting for the upcoming election. We'll tell you when and where you can cast your ballot. Families of the victims from the Stoneman Douglas High School shooting share their thoughts to the court, and they did not hold back. And there could be some rain in this weekend's forecast. We'll let you know when to expect it. This is OU Nightly. Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Parker Abels.
And I'm Cameron Joyner. We begin tonight with the first day of early voting here in Oklahoma. Today through Saturday, registered voters can cast their ballots ahead of Election Day.
OU Nightly's Purpura joins us live from the Cleveland County Election Board with the story. Pepper?
Cameron, Parker, we've had a pretty steady stream of people coming in all day long. Early voting started this morning at 8, and it seems like Norman is taking advantage.
Their civic duty on their time.
This is the easiest way to do it on early voting.
Voters that have their minds made up are heading to the polls now instead of waiting until November 8th.
We're pretty steady right now, but we're processing a voter every 6 seconds in there. 2
polling locations are open for early voters. Cleveland County Fairgrounds and the Moore Norman Technology Center on South Penn campus will both be open until 6 o'clock tonight.
If anybody is in line at 6 p.m., they will be allowed to vote just like anybody else.
Oklahoma saw a sharp increase in the number of people registered to vote this cycle. One voter says her and her husband are casting their ballots for the first time ever.
My husband never voted, and because I was so excited about it, he's finally registered and he's coming out this week to vote as well.
According to the election board, there are more than 173,000 people registered to vote in Cleveland County. Of those, around 82,000 are Republicans, 54,000 are Democrats, 1,800 are Libertarian, and 36,000 are Independent. But just because someone is registered with a party doesn't mean they will vote for them or at all.
I feel like you can't complain about something if you don't vote for what you want. So this is the first time I've actually got to make my voice heard.
There's still another hour and a half left today to cast your ballot, but if you can't make it, don't worry. You still have tomorrow and Friday for early voting. Live in Norman, I'm Purpura, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Pepper. That's right. You can vote early in the 2022 midterm elections this Thursday and Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Early voting locations are based on where you live. And to find out your early polling place, visit oklahoma.gov. And be sure to watch OU Nightly's election coverage starting Tuesday at 7 p.m. And Parker, it was kind of a gray day for those people who were in those polling lines today.
Yes, it was, and those voters could need an umbrella before the end of the week.
That's right. Well, luckily, Colton Williams is here with a look at our forecast for today.
Yeah, that's right. Kind of had a stubborn layer of cloud cover hanging on right here over the Oklahoma City metro throughout the day today. This kept our temperatures really much cooler than we expected for the remainder of the day. Now, this cloud cover really is kind of beginning to dissipate now. Sun is heating up the surface. Cloud cover is going away. So as a result, temperatures are rising in central Oklahoma, but you can spot the cloud cover really easily. Folks in the upper 50s and the lower 60s where the cloud cover is still hanging on. Elsewhere, we're looking at middle to some upper 70s. And so as the cloud cover moves away throughout the rest of the evening hours, we're actually going to warm back up before then we hit our evening temperatures here later on in the evening. All right, so looking at upper 60s for the 5 o'clock hour. We'll be back down to the lower 60s by the 9 p.m. hours. Cloud cover is going to return for overnight tonight. We're tracking some warmer temperatures, really another chance of rain, but we're going to talk about the severe weather that's coming up here in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Colton. And tonight we know the fate of Parkland school shooter Nicholas Cruz. He will spend the rest of his life in prison. The sentence was handed down after 2 days of heartbreaking testimony from family members of those killed. CNN reporter Christina Vasquez has the details.
Through tears.
And to the defendant, I view you as a domestic terrorist.
Anguish.
The last time I saw her sweet face was when she was lifeless and cold, laying in a coffin.
And anger.
He is just a murdering bastard.
Family members of the murdered were able to do something not permitted during trial victim impact statements.
And burn in hell.
Tell the killer exactly what they thought of him.
You are pure evil. The defense said the death penalty was reserved for the worst of the worst.
Alex Schachter's dad.
This scum Sitting right over there is not the worst of the worst.
And Chris Hickson's son
You're not a disturbed or broken person. You're a person who fundamentally lacks character.
challenged the defense's reasons for life that their client was brain damaged and broken.
Listen to me, defender.
Here's Joaquin Oliver's mom.
I am broken. All of us. Now we are broken.
You're making the mental health crisis in America worse by misrepresenting what actually happened to the Parkland murderer.
The defense case convinced 3 of the 12 penalty-phase jurors life was the appropriate punishment for shooting and killing 17 Marjory Stoneman Douglas staff and students on Valentine's Day 2018. In Florida, a choice of death must be unanimous.
You stole him from us.
Chris Hickson's widow, Gina Montalto's brother,
He shouldn't live while my sister rots in a grave.
and Elena Petty's sister
I will never get to look at her face again.
all spoke of murder as theft
Every day,
for the rest of their lives.
I walk by her room and see that it's empty.
There will be an empty room, a missing laugh, a hollowed heart.
Elena will never grow up. He stopped her at 14.
Cruz faced the death penalty, but jurors did not reach the unanimous decision to sentence required by Florida law.
The man police say broke into House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's home and attacked her husband appeared in court today. Zoe Watson has that and the rest of today's national and international headlines from the News Center.
Thanks, Parker. The man accused of attacking Paul Pelosi, husband of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, is being held in jail without bail. David DePape pleaded not guilty in a California courtroom Tuesday. Among the state charges he's facing: attempted murder, burglary, assault with deadly weapon, and more. Authorities say DePape attacked Paul Pelosi with a hammer, fracturing his skull. Now known as the most missiles ever fired in one day in history, tensions are rising on the Korean peninsula after North and South Korea both fired missiles. South Korean officials say that the North fired at least 23 missiles early Wednesday and around 100 artillery shots. Seoul responded with 3 air-to-surface missiles of its own. And the Federal Reserve is hiking interest rates for the 6th time this year. Rates will go up by 0.75 percentage point. The Federal Reserve hopes the rate hikes will slow down inflation by making borrowing more expensive. The rate hikes have already trickled into the housing market, and mortgage rates are at the highest levels in 2 decades. And Brennan Carr with the Federal Communications Commission says TikTok should not be allowed in the U.S. because of concerns about the company's handling of user data. Cameron, Parker.
Thanks, Zoe. New information tonight out of Tulsa, where the city is working to identify victims of the Tulsa Race Massacre. Researchers say an additional 17 unmarked graves have been found. The Oklahoma State archaeologists say they were uncovered at an excavation site in the Oaklawn Cemetery. As many as 300 people were killed, according to the Tulsa Historical Society and Museum, but only 26 death certificates were issued. Officials are now working to identify the victims through a forensic genetic genealogical testing.
Well, guys, hurricane season is still in full force, and it's heading for Central America.
We have the details on when Hurricane Lisa is supposed to make landfall when OU Nightly returns. And the Mississippi River is at an all-time low.
When we come back, we have more details on what this means for the river and the possible environmental impacts. Stick with us. Hurricane season continues tonight with Hurricane Lisa approaching land in the Atlantic Ocean. Bailey Coyle has everything you need to know and more. Environmental headlines from around the world and Earth Report.
Thanks, Cameron. Hurricane season is still in full force, and Hurricane Lisa just made landfall in Central America. The Category 1 hurricane hit Belize today and is expected to make its way over to northern Guatemala and southeastern Mexico tomorrow. Lisa is predicted to produce 6 inches of rain with local amounts up to 10 inches. And heading over to Antarctica, the Empire penguins have officially been placed under the Safekeeping of Endangered Species Act. If the greenhouse gas emissions continue to increase at the current rate, the penguin population could be gone by 2100. But there's hope that the endangered species classification could help these penguins' population, just as it helped the polar bear population. And the Mississippi River is facing a drought, and parts of the river are at an all-time low. In this video, you can see just how low the river levels are, which are causing the river speed to decrease and the salt levels to rise. The New Orleans residents are experiencing a bitter taste in their water supply. The unique phenomenon has been named a saltwater intrusion.
The river has enough force to kind of keep the Gulf of Mexico at bay, but as the river flow drops, salt water does progress upriver just because the riverbed is naturally below sea level.
The Orleans Parish has declared a state of emergency and issued a drink water advisory. And Parker, with these lower river levels, hidden treasures have been found. As you can see in this video, the latest find was an old casino riverboat in Memphis.
Thanks, Bailey. Well, Adopt a Shelter Dog Month may be over, but a local shelter here in Norman isn't done raising awareness.
When we come back, we'll tell you how you can help give a shelter dog a second chance. And I know that we might have a line of storms coming to us at some point soon.
Yeah, Colton, what can we expect in weather coming up?
Yeah, look at that beautiful fall colors peeking here on campus now. Talking about showers and thunderstorms on the way. I have all the details coming up. All right, welcome back to OU Nightly. Thanks for joining us. I'm Colton Williams. We got 2 months to go here in 2022. Right now, still kind of painting a dangerous picture in terms of our drought, hanging out about 10.5 degrees or 10.5 inches below where we should be for this time of year. All right, should be seeing about 33 inches of rainfall. We've seen about 22.5 on the year. So we've got a lot of ground to make up, and headed into winter with this much of a deficit is never a good thing. Okay, now look at that beautiful blue sky. Only come out here within the last hour or so as that deck of clouds has kind of thinned out. Now looking good here across campus, hanging out middle to lower 60s. Again, some sunshine peeking out there. Winds have cranked up a bit out of the southeast, but overall, as that dew point has dropped, cloud cover is moving away, and it will return overnight tonight. Okay, we're going to drop down to the middle to upper 50s. Mostly cloudy skies overnight tonight. We will be somewhat breezy overnight, but it will really be an above average night in terms of our seasonal temperature. Before then tomorrow again, hanging out again, middle to lower 70s. We will have another kind of stout southerly breeze throughout the day tomorrow. As the day goes on, we'll have the chance for some scattered showers to move in here as we head into the afternoon and the evening hours. Again, it'll be dry most of the day, but expect some cloud cover to be building back in here throughout the day. Okay, looking up top now here, really quiet across the southern plains other than some of that cloud cover. Our next storm system is hanging out over the Pacific Northwest, and this is going to continue its track here in Oklahoma as we go throughout the next couple of days here. Okay, and we do have the chance for maybe some severe weather. So right now we're seasonal, again, really above average as we go throughout the next couple of days. But as that storm system approaches, it really is kind of a powerful system here. The jet stream will dip. We'll have the chance for some severe thunderstorms, maybe some widespread rainfall for folks in eastern Oklahoma. That's going to move out quickly Friday and into Saturday. Football game looks dry on Saturday. Before then, our next strong system going to be making landfall in the far northwest as we head into Sunday and into Monday. So we'll have to keep our eyes on for the next several days. But okay, looking into Thursday now, slight risk for severe weather now in western Oklahoma and in the Texas Panhandle. Maybe the strongest potential for some damaging winds. Before then on Friday, the chance will expand here into eastern Oklahoma, really I-44 and southeastward here for Oklahoma City, somewhat included. Before then, the strongest chance will be in far, far southeastern Oklahoma and in far northeastern Texas. Okay, now overnight Thursday, again, very low tornado threat, spin up threat coming in on Thursday, very low damaging hail threat. This will become more of a wind event as these storms will line out and make their way eastward. And again, not a lot of opportunity for flooding, still hanging on to some somewhat decent rain chances. Again, we'll take everything we can get. These have trended downward in the last several days, but I-35 and eastward can expect anywhere from ½ inch to an inch, with eastern Oklahoma getting the bulk of the rainfall. Okay, now, event you don't want to miss this weekend coming up. Yeah, falling back this weekend. Sunrises, they're going to get earlier. You will gain an hour of sleep, but the sunsets, those are going to get earlier as well. Sun will start setting at the 5 o'clock hour coming on this weekend. Okay, looking at 70s for Thursday into Friday. That's where our best storm chance comes before then the cold front rolls in. Football game on Saturday looking at the 60s. There's your fallback. Before then, we're back into the 70s by this time next week.
Thanks, Colton. Well, as October or Adopt a Shelter Dog Month comes to a close, a local shelter hopes to bring awareness to the importance of adopting and caring for animals. Second Chance Animal Rescue is a nonprofit that prides itself on care and well-being, giving over 800 animals a second chance at life each year. They recently hosted a fundraising event titled Wags to Riches, continuing to bring education and inspiration to efforts of rescue in the state. Animal handler Terrell Rush says the community plays a big role in the outcomes of these animals and has already contributed towards helping Second Chance Animal Sanctuary succeed.
We are completely donation-based. Food, supplies, cleaning supplies, bedding, materials, stuff like that. All of it's donation-based. So anything that the community can bring to us for us to use helps tremendously.
Rush says that even the donation of spending some time simply interacting with the pets in the sanctuary can actually also make a big difference. Their facilities are open Wednesday through Sunday, noon to 5 p.m. So, Parker, I hear the Thunder are actually doing pretty good lately.
Yeah, Cameron, you know, if I'm reading this right, it says OKC is above 500. Sydney, is that true?
Yes, Parker, that's right. It's been 668 days, aka a long time, since the Thunder have been over 500. I'll tell you all about it coming up in sports.
I'm Victoria Anderson at the OU Nightly Update Desk. Pfizer has announced they are working on a new RSV vaccine. This comes after months of increasing cases and overwhelmed hospitals. After 6 decades of research, results show a 69% success rate. Pfizer says the shot may not be available till next winter. Cameron, Parker, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Victoria. Well, instead of taking advantage of candy buckets left on people's porches this Halloween, 2 trick-or-treaters in Lowell, Indiana decided to do something very sweet.
Watch as Camden and Macy Chesner realize that the bowl is empty and then offer some of their own candy to replace it.
And now their town is calling them Halloween heroes. And I know that the weather was kind of nice and cool here for Halloween this year.
Yeah, and I'm hoping for some nice weather on Saturday. Colton, how's our game day forecast looking?
Yeah, we're going to have a cold front roll through Friday night and into Saturday. Now, rain chances really have kind of evaded the forecast now for your game day forecast. So tailgating looking really good, looking at temperatures in the middle 50s. Really, I call this great weather. Some folks may want a small jacket, but this is really seasonable temps for this time of year. Looking really, really good for a football game here in Norman in November. Okay, coming up, again, 70s the next couple of days. Friday will feel more of like a spring-like day. Cold front rolls through, looking at 70s this time next week. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Colton. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Parker Abels.
And I'm Cameron Joyner. Be sure to tune in tomorrow at 4:30 right here. Good night.